That's crazy. It was just immediately to him. I didn't even get any. Yeah, that was crazy. Oh, I said for him to be out. Guess he was ready to come back in. My quarterback can be the worst thrower sometimes, even as an 82 old. He was open too. That's frustrating.
Find the best props for all major passing, rushing, and receiving stat categories. Use it now at bettingpros.com/props or on the Betting Pros app. Let's talk baseball. Blake Snell is starting for the Dodgers. Lefty, not Otani. We don't know who is starting for the Brewers. It may be a bullpen game, but you just saw what happened with the Mariners and how the Mariners piecemeal the game together. You can do that if you have good arms. Coming off of a very tough series, I know, up against Cubs, but the Brewers were at home. The Brewers have had tremendous success this season against the Dodgers. This is going to be a whale of a series, and I will tell you right now, I don't know what to do yet with our future ticket on the Brewers. Clearly, we have to find a time to hedge. Okay, clearly that we have to hedge. But what if the Brewers win Game One? I think that they do. They win Game One. Now we're in a different situation here. Brewers have home field in this series. Win Game One, we should see the price come down. I don't want to lay 250 on the Dodgers, okay? Because I want to guarantee myself some money. Remember, we bet two times already. We've already taken 2 units off this 27-1 ticket. It's now 25-1 for the Brewers to win the World Series. How much do I want to dip into this? If we get down to like minus 110 or 150 even with the Dodgers, I think then we come in with 4 to 5 units. We come in pretty heavy on the other side to guarantee ourselves that we're getting the Brewers to the World Series. That would drop it down to a 20-1 ticket, and then whoever they're playing, we would then go ahead and hedge again 4 to 5 units on the other side, and we'll guarantee ourselves 10 units with the Brewers, and we'll come in and just sit there, or let it ride if you want, see if you can get it to cash. But I want to make, I want to make educated risk assessment bets here. And the Brewers are 6-0 this year up against the Dodgers. They played the Dodgers in July, 6 times in July. They won 9-1, 3-1, 3-2, 2-0, 8-7, 6-5. All pretty consistently 1 or 2 run games, except for the first game, a 9-1 win for the Brewers. But they found ways to win. At home in Milwaukee, he was 3-2, 3-1, 9-1. Blake Snell's a lefty. We've been betting on the Brewers money line whenever a lefty is getting started. Again, I don't know who's pitching for the Brewers, which could be dangerous given the lineup that the Dodgers have. I'll give that to you. But I like Pat Murphy, and I think he'll be able to piecemeal this together. and try to get out there and get a W. And I think the offense could come to life here up against Blake Snell. Blake Snell on the road this year had an ERA of 4.3. His ERA at home was 1.17. He's a totally different pitcher on the road, and the Brewers are at home, and the Brewers can rake at home. In the month of August and September, ERA about 2.5 for Blake Snell. He was very good coming down the stretch. I'm not going to deny that, but he never faced the Brewers. He didn't pitch in that 6-game stretch. So he hasn't seen their lineup, but the lineup hasn't seen him either. Look, I think this game is probably a very low scoring game. I think we're right under 7.5 in some form or fashion, unless the Dodgers erupt. If the Brewers are going to win, it's probably a 3-2 type of game. So I don't mind a play on the under in this game. Okay, but I'm going to take the plus money and take a shot here and say, you know what? Game one, the Brewers might be able to steal game one, given who's starting and Blake Snell's struggles on the road, and the fact that this team for the Brewers hammers
Of course,
lefties.
it's a fumble.
Again, a system play I've been making all year.
Of
It's been very
course.
profitable for us. We're going to come in here and do it again. So for today, we're going Falcons +4, Commanders -5, and Brewers on the money line. If you want to hear a full breakdown of everything that happened yesterday and over the weekend, including James Franklin's firing at Penn State, the brawl after the game between the Chiefs and the Lions, how the professionals did yesterday up against the sports books, and overall just a betting recap of everything going on over the weekend, heading into tonight where we've got 2 games in baseball and 2 games in the NFL. You can check out my other show, The Bostonian versus the Book, at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Bostonian versus the Book YouTube channel. That is at Boston versus the Book. To search, it's the same thing on X. Twitter will be live there at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for 2 games involving Monday Night Football. Come on over and join me if you want a more long-form program. That's about an hour to an hour and 20 straight. If you miss it live, you can always watch it on replay. You can always listen to it on audio podcasts. Wherever you guys get audio podcasts, just go and search Boston versus the Book or the Bostonian versus the Book.
9 seconds.
Matt Perron. You can follow me across all my socials at SportsTalkMatt every morning, wherever you guys get your podcasts, audio or video. It's the Daily Juice. Hey guys, Vernon Croy here from DocSports.com for Monday, October 13th, 2025. Going to get to the Croy's NHL report here in just a moment. We'll include 9 free NHL picks for Monday night.
Bro. Immediately?
Sports YouTube
This
channel.
bull crap.
Make sure that you hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, that's going to be a touchdown. What?
15 and 9 NFL run.
Of course. Of course. Why not? Oh, why not? I mean, he goes right to me, but he just gets in front, right then. Right at the perfect time. So they get a fumble. They get a one-play touchdown. Where's my turnover? Where's my turnover?
Buffalo Sabres. Now, obviously, Colorado is the superior team. They should be heavily favored in this game. They are minus 160. It's still good value for me to play. They are coming off a 4-5 2-night loss against Dallas. Before that, they beat Utah. Before that, they went into LA and beat LA 4-1. Colorado is a Stanley Cup contending team. Buffalo is not yet. Buffalo's still trying to make the playoffs. I believe that Buffalo will make the playoffs this season, however, but they won't do anything in the playoffs for sure. Buffalo is coming off back-to-back losses, 4-0 right against the Rangers, and a 3-1 loss at Boston. Colorado a lot in this spot. This is an early start. That doesn't affect me in this. We're taking the Colorado Avalanche on the money line, minus 160 over Buffalo Sabres. Your next matchup is between the Nashville Predators and Ottawa Senators. Nashville is currently underdog plus 145. Rightfully so, I believe, especially in Ottawa. Ottawa's favored minus 175. Head to head, Ottawa has won 3 of the last 4 games when playing Nashville. Nashville is coming off 2-3 overtime loss against Utah. That was in Nashville. They haven't played a road game yet this season. This is their first road game of the season. They did open the season with a 2-1 victory against Columbus. Now, Ottawa opened the season on the road. They had to play a very good Tampa Bay team. They won that game in overtime, and obviously they played the defending Stanley Cup champions at Florida. They lost that game 6-2. So this is also a big bounce back spot for Ottawa. Ottawa's the superior team. There is no value with them on the money line, however, though. So we will take the Ottawa Senators on the puck line minus 1.5 plus 145. Nashville Predators. Next matchup is between the Tampa Bay Lightning and Boston Bruins. I really feel like Tampa Bay is the superior team in this matchup, and that's why they're heavily favored on the road. Favored minus 160 on the road, Boston plus 135 at home. Tampa Bay is basically coming off back-to-back losses to start the season. They just lost in overtime to start the season against Ottawa, which I just told you about. And then they lost 3-5 against the Devils in their last game. So they also come into this game very hungry. Boston has won 3 straight games to start the season. However, 2 of those games were against kind of bad teams, Chicago and Buffalo. They did start on the road against Washington. They put up a 3-1 victory there. I do expect Tampa Bay to get the victory here. We're taking the Tampa Bay Lightning on the money line, minus 160. Actually, we get minus 155 against the Boston Bruins. Next matchup is between the Winnipeg Jets and the New York Islanders. The Islanders are coming off a loss. This is the Winnipeg team that I believe is the superior team coming into this matchup. However, the Islanders are 8-2 in the last 10 games against Winnipeg. They've owned Winnipeg in the past. Winnipeg is coming off a 3-2 victory at Los Angeles. Winnipeg is the better overall team. This is their first road game, though. I do like the value with the New York Islanders. That's why I play underdogs here. We get New York Islanders on the money line plus 110. Big Jacks. Next matchup is Detroit Red Wings and Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, obviously, these 2 teams just played Saturday night.
Bro, what?
I don't want to nothing in that game.
What? What? He didn't even jump. And he had a guy covering him on top of the guy jumping. This is crazy.
Like Toronto a lot. Scully actually played lights out in that game. The score is very misleading. They broke down defensively big time. Scully kept them in that game. Scully definitely was not blamed for that loss, even though he did allow a lot of goals. It wasn't his fault at all. He had absolutely no help. Expect Toronto to turn it on here. This afternoon game starting at 2:07. No value with Toronto though on the money line, so we're taking the Toronto Maple Leafs on the puck line, -1.5, +130. The next matchup, the New Jersey Devils, Columbus Blue Jackets. Obviously, New Jersey is coming off a victory against Tampa Bay.
Going to be a good year then.
Because Minnesota blew out St. Louis 5-0 in the previous game. Columbus won that game 7-4. It's a nice little underdog. I gave you +140.
Maybe we meet in the Super Bowl.
On the money line, +110 for the New Jersey Devils. Your next matchup is between the Florida Panthers and Philadelphia Flyers. Obviously, this is a hobbled Florida team. It's also a plug-and-play Florida team. It doesn't matter who you pop in that lineup, they perform. That's why they're Stanley Cup champs back. Philadelphia sold on all this season. Currently, Florida's favored -140. 140 lost. It was as high as -150. Florida is the superior team here. I'm definitely not sold on this Flyers team. Florida's battling some key injuries. I understand that. Florida has won 4 of the last 5 games against the Flyers. They haven't lost yet this season. They've won 3 straight against Chicago, Philadelphia, Ottawa. Now against Philadelphia, they won that game 2-1. Philadelphia is coming off 3-4 overtime loss against a very good Carolina team at Carolina. Yeah, they played every team close so far this season. Both 1-goal losses at Florida and at Carolina. Florida is the superior team, though. We're taking Florida Panthers on the money line, -140 against the Philadelphia Flyers. Your next matchup is between the St. Louis Blues and Vancouver Canucks. I also gave you St. Louis in their last game. I told you that they would bounce back after that 5-0 right against Minnesota. They did just that. Pull up the stats here. St. Louis has won 4 of their last 5 games against Vancouver. They are coming off a dominant victory against Calgary. Calgary's not a good team. They won that game 4-2. St. Louis, his power play has really struggled so far this season. They're 1-6 with the extra man on the power play. Vancouver is coming off.
Bro, really?
Shots on goal and not lost. They allowed Edmonton 36 shots. Previously, the previous game prior to that, they beat Calgary 5-1.
Oh,
They were heavily favored in that game, right? So that game was at home. We like the St. Louis Blues as an underdog in this spot. I believe that they do have a superior goaltender. We're taking the St. Louis Blues on the money line, +110 over the Vancouver Canucks. Now, your 9th and final NHL game for Monday, October 13th, 2025 is between the Utah and Chicago. Utah is currently heavily favored in this game. Line open -140 and shot up to -160, -165. I expect Chicago to show up in this game. Chicago actually has more talent this season than last season. I expect them to have a much better season.
oh my.
Utah is coming off 3-2.
They're not paying attention.
Jacksonville at lost their first game, 1-2. It's a very good Colorado team. Nashville's not a good team. Chicago is looking for their first victory of the season. They dropped 3 straight. They come in this game really hungry at home. They played 3 great teams to start the season. Chicago has at Florida, at Boston. It's a very good Montreal team. Losing all those games by just 1 goal. I like the value of the Chicago Blackhawks. We're taking the Chicago Blackhawks on the money line, plus 135. Now make sure that you post in the comment section. Let me know what you think about the ice report, the rain report for Monday. Thanks a lot for your time as always. In winning, Foxsports.com for Sunday at football. 5. Want to get to your free NHL pick here in just a moment between the Washington Capitals and the New York Rangers. It's the only NHL game going here Sunday. First of all, give the video a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button below as we do several free videos for you every single day right here on the Fox Sports YouTube channel. Now,
Two Monday night football games this week. Count them. 2 on ESPN and ABC. Bills, Falcons, Bears, Commanders. I've got 3 plays and analysis for both of your Monday night football games right here in this video right now. This is Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com, right back here on Wager Talk TV. And I love these double headers, especially with the staggered start times. Maybe stagger it more than just an hour, but it's still nice to get 2 games on Monday. Let's spread out the schedule. What are your thoughts? Comment below. I do read the comments and I reply back. We'll start with the first game at 7:15 Eastern, Buffalo, Atlanta. And by the way, we have teams coming off bye weeks in both games. Both underdogs are coming off bye weeks, so that's an interesting dynamic. And I do think it helps Atlanta here. Yes, they played well in their game before the bye. Of course, they played horrible the week before that, and they were shut out by the lowly Carolina Panthers. But they bounced back with a strong game against the Commanders, who played the other Monday night game. And by the way, we had a strong best bet on Atlanta in that game a couple weeks ago. And if you recall, it also made my Fade the Public video. As the public faded the Falcons, they were on the Commanders, and we thought that was a mistake. In fact, the Commanders were a public underdog 2 weeks ago. Falcons are -2, closed as high as -3, and they won the game 34-27. Nothing misleading about it. Had over 430 offensive yards after being shut out the week before against Carolina. And Penix played much better. His really one bad game this season was that Panthers start. But he had a QB rating of 80 or higher in his other 3 starts with a 3-1 TD touchdown to interception ratio and an excellent game against the Commanders 2 weeks ago. 77% completions, a 126 QB rating, and 2 touchdowns. And once again, the public is fading the Falcons. If you watch my NFL Fade the Public video for week 6, you'll know this one made the cut. It was one of the most 4 most public plays of the week. Public is heavy on the Buffalo Bills Monday night. And we don't just blindly fade the public, but we do use it as a filter. And there's a couple subsets in which I like to use. First of all, quality teams. And that's one of the reasons I mentioned fading public dogs. We got that with the Falcons last time. And I still think the Falcons are a quality playoff caliber team this year, as long as Penix stays controlled and doesn't turn the ball over. And at home off the bye week, I like the schedule set up here. And one of the reasons the Bills are so public is because they're coming off a loss. And everyone thinks, oh, Buffalo can't lose 2 in a row. They can't drop 2 in a row after a 4-0 start. But let's not forget, they were trailing the majority of the game against Baltimore in week 1. And that's sure not looking very good now, as the Ravens have been a vastly overrated team. And then their 3 wins in between came against the Jets, Dolphins, and Saints, 3 of the worst teams in the NFL. They lost outright as over a touchdown favorite to the Patriots. Not sure the Bills are the powerhouse team everybody thinks. We'll fade the public in this one with the Atlanta Falcons plus the 4.5, a live home dog on Monday night, 7:15 Eastern on ESPN. Now, your other game is on ABC at 8:15 Eastern, Bears and Commanders. I was about to say Bears, Redskins, but boy, I think of those 1980s playoff matchups. Darryl Green, punt return, pulled rib muscle, and he still scores. I know there's a lot of Redskin fans that watch these videos. You see all the memorabilia behind me. I was a lifelong Redskin fan, but I'm not a Commanders fan, not my Washington Commanders. Change the name back. Is there a hashtag for that? HTTR. And look, I joke about it, but I do think the Commanders are a bit overrated this season. And a little bit of a phony win last week. They were down 10-0. Chargers were driving the length of the field to go up maybe 17-0. They fumbled, and that turned the game around. Washington outscored LA 27-0 after that fumble when they were almost about to be down 13 or 17-0 late second quarter. Washington is a dynamic offensive team, and Jaden Daniels is back under center. So while the situation seems to favor the Bears, by the way, they're coming off a bye week like the Falcons. I mentioned how both Monday night dogs are coming off byes, and that's kind of strange, isn't it? You give a team a bye week, then you give them an extra day with Monday night football. Nonetheless, Chicago playing pretty good football heading into the bye, back-to-back wins and coverage against the Cowboys and Raiders. They put up 56 points in those games, and the offense is coming to life, throwing the ball a little bit better, and they should have success against a very weak Washington defense. The problem, though, and the reason it's hard for me to lean Bears here, is that I think Washington's going to have offensive success as well. Bears' weakness this year has been a terrible run D. I mean, talk about terrible. 6.1 yards per rush allowed. It's one of the worst numbers I've seen into October ever in the NFL. Over 164 rushing yards a game allowed. And yes, the Commanders are a run-based offense. Jaden Daniels, a mobile quarterback. And the Commanders are averaging almost 6 yards per carry. So on paper, huge mismatch here with the Commanders' rush attack against the Bears' rush D. Bears also not a good pass D. In fact, overall this year, they're giving up to almost 7 yards per play and almost 29.5 points a game. The Commanders should be able to move the ball, but I'm not sure Washington can slow down Chicago either. Commanders have also one of the worst pass defenses in the NFL this year, and the Bears are starting to throw the ball better. So two offenses have the edge. Let's not overthink it. No pun intended. Well, actually, there was a pun intended. I like the over in this one, over 49.5. It's 49.5, 50 as we head into the weekend. 51 is a key number. 50 is a dead number. 51, about a 3% chance this game lands on exactly 51. So you want to get 49.5, 50, even at 50.5. But once again, below 51, I like the over in Monday Night Football, 8:15 Eastern, with the Bears and Commanders on ABC. And there you go. Doubleheader Monday night. What are your thoughts? Do you like these doubleheaders? I love them. Wish maybe they staggered the games more than an hour apart. Although if you're on the East Coast, you got to get up for work early in the morning Tuesday. I guess you can watch both games instead of having to wait for a 10 or 10:30 Eastern start. So it makes sense. What are your thoughts? Comment below. I read the comments. I reply back. And also thumbs up like. If you're liking these free play videos, I will keep them coming. All I ask is that you click the thumbs up like. It takes 2 seconds. I've done every Thursday night game. Finally missed a Thursday night play this week. Still 6-1 in the free Thursday night NFL plays. I do the Sunday, the Monday night games every week as well. Free for you here on Wager Talk TV. All I ask is a thumbs up like. And hey, a positive comment below is nice as well. Also, make sure you subscribe to Wager Talk TV. Over 223,000 subscribers can't be wrong. Don't cost nothing. Click subscribe and also click the bell as well. You will get an instant alert. One of my free play videos is posted each day throughout the week with the baseball playoffs. Hey, don't forget the NBA starts in about 9 days. Woo! Yeah, the following Tuesday, the NBA starts, and also college hoops right after that. And speaking of all these sports that are going on right now, yes, it is a great time to be a direct client at wagertalk.com. If you go to my page right now, you'll see the last chance to get some very special offers. 7 days for $77. Buy 3 months, get the 4th month for free. That's $300 instant savings. Or the best deal, it's the one I like. The rest of 2025 for free when you sign up for 2026. Look, if you're ready to take a serious, consistent investment approach, the 1-year all access is the way to go. And if you sign up right now, you get the next 2.5 months for free. No promo codes needed. You pick out the package that works best for you, whether it's a 1 day, a 1 month, a 1 year. Every client gets the exact same personal best bet that I'm using each and every day. It's been that way since I started over 29 years ago in August 1996. You know, by the way, I post a bonus free play every day on my page as well. It's usually the last cut. My best bet card goes up free for everyone. So even if you're still building your bankroll, get the daily free play right now and check out the best bet specials. Steve Merrill, wagertalk.com, and hey, get there quicker. Shortcut wt.buzz/sm. On the way out, don't forget to follow me on social media on X and Instagram at Steve Merrill, 2 R's, 1 L, MERRIL, at Steve Merrill on X and Instagram. And stay tuned here to Wager Talk TV because
It is Last Call Sunday. I'm the Sports Betting Show. 6 Monday night. We've got 2 football games here in the NFL. I'm going to be taking a look at the Bills and the Falcons in this one. Also have another episode up with the other games, so make sure to subscribe to that channel. Continue to follow along all season. Going to have the matchup data and insight that you need to get your plays down here on Monday. Going to have Nate on as well to drop some of those player props that he's got. Got him in the other episode as well, so don't miss any of his stuff. And we're using those Swishland model projections that we're always using here, available on landerbets.com for those interested. So that all sounds good. Give this video a like. Let's get right into things. Start with that Buffalo offense, man. This is going to be a tale of 2 juggernauts right now. We get the Buffalo offense doing big things, 6th in plays, yards per play, 3rd in plays per game. So they're getting to the line, they're getting those plays off, and they're getting a lot of yards on those plays. On the other side of the ball, Atlanta is doing very well stopping all of that. 3rd in opponents' yards per play, and 1st in terms of opponents' plays per game. They're limiting the amount that the other team has the ball. Really impressive when their offense hasn't been that impressive. Really shows you that their defense is keeping the drives for the other team to a minimum. And it seems like that all bears out here with the total numbers for both teams on offense and defense here. Buffalo going to be a top 5 offense overall, both in pass EPA and rush EPA. And on defense, the key for me is that the Falcons, while I do believe they're a top 5 pass defense, first in limiting pass yards, third in pass EPA, I don't buy the rushing yards. Being 5th best in limiting rushing yards to the opponent, that seems a little bit skewed here when you have them at 26th in rush EPA. And I think the Bills are going to have success rushing the ball against them. And I kind of think both teams are going to have a ton of success rushing the ball because, as we'll talk about with this Bills defense in a minute, they also give up a ton of yards in addition to the Bills getting a ton of rush yards, right? 300 total rushing yards per game combined between the Bills and their opponents in all of the games they're playing, pretty far and away most in the NFL. So I do think we're going to see a lot of success on both sides of the ball here with the run